Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 271 of Bill Man the Sport Guys podcast. I'm your host, Bill Man the Sports Guy. Today's episode is really simple. We're going to go over some of the Major League Baseball trades that have happened today and a few that happened prior to, because today is August 3rd, or tonight is. And it was also the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Now, for some reason, it decided to start at around 4:30. I don't know why, but regardless, we're going to go over the trades, so let's get started. So the first trade we're going to discuss is involving the New York Mets, as they traded left-handed pitcher A.J. Minter to the Minnesota Twins, and in return, the Mets are going to get infield prospects Billy Amick and infielder Bruin Aggiabini. So Aggiabini was a 2025 sixth-round pick last year in the Twins, and in their single-A affiliate, he was doing okay. 268 with 6 RBIs. He's only got 41 plate appearances at the moment. So it's hard to tell what kind of a player he's really going to be. Now, infielder Billy Amick, currently in the Double-A, and he was hitting for a lot of power with 23 home runs and 72 RBIs in 86 games played. Now, he does have a 482 slugging. Now, as for Minter, he currently did come back after missing all of 2025 with a huge injury. And he currently, in 23 innings, has a 2.35 ERA. So that's good to see. And got a decently good value. So for both sides, I can't really complain. And it'll be interesting to see where Amick will grow, even in the Mets system. Now, as for Aggiabini, I hope I said it right. I apologize if I said it wrong. But it's hard to tell for right now, the fact that he's even in single-A. So the next one, we got the Cleveland Guardians trading Bo Naylor, a catcher, and right-handed pitcher Cody Hoyer to the Milwaukee Brewers. In exchange, the Guardians are going to get right-handed pitcher Craig Yoho, I'm not even kidding, that's his last name, and outfielder Blake Perkins from the Milwaukee Brewers. So how I see this for both sides is depth acquisitions, and there's nothing wrong with that. Bo Naylor, most likely going to be a backup catcher to William Contreras. As for Cody Hoyer, I do think he'll actually fit very nice, and I think he'll actually do really well in the Brewers and in their bullpen. Now, as for Cleveland, who's also had a really good pitching lab, so I think they're going to find something out with Craig Yoho, and I think they're going to turn him out to be a really good pitcher. Now, as for Blake Perkins, had good outfield depth, but in the end, this feels more like a depth move on both ends. Next one, we have the New York Yankees trading right-handed pitcher Camilo Doval and cash considerations to the Pittsburgh Pirates for catcher Omar Alfonso and outfielder Luis Cruz. Now, Doval currently has made 44 appearances this season and has an ERA slightly above 450 at 4.54 ERA. Not good. 39 strikeouts in over 39 innings. So hope you can figure it out with Pittsburgh and new change, new scenery. Now, as for the Yankees, another good catcher acquisition in Omar Alfonso. We'll see how he does. And same with outfielder Luis Cruz, because when healthy, the Yankees are great. But then when they're hurt, not really great on the other hand. Another trade we're going to discuss involves my Chicago White Sox. 1 out of 4 trades they actually made. They acquired right-handed pitcher Luis Castillo from the Seattle Mariners in exchange for Seranthony Dominguez, catcher prospect Boston Smith, and pitcher Nolan Jones. So, let's go from Seattle's point of view. So, Boston Smith, who was ranked 15th in the White Sox prospect system. I'm not going to lie. I'd be lying if I said I was happy. I'm actually not happy at all. The fact that he actually got traded. I think he could have been a good catcher, but was also kind of an outfielder. So in the end, it kind of makes sense because there was really no room for him in the outfield, but also catcher-wise, they could have gave him a shot. I personally think, but I hope he gets a shot with Seattle. I mean, he was hitting 22 home runs in the minor leagues. So that's actually kind of crazy and good for Seattle in return that they're getting a good prospect, and now they're AA affiliate in the Arkansas Travelers. Anyway, Nolan Jones was basically outfield depth, so Mariners are going to get an outfield depth. Now, Seranthony Dominguez, the big piece. Seranthony Dominguez, this year with the White Sox so far, is 4-3 with an ERA of 3.99 in 38, just over 38 innings. However, he has given up 6 home runs, 17 earned runs. And his walks, he's walked 23 batters. Only intentionally walked 2 batters. So, what you're going to get out of Seranthony Dominguez, at times, he looks really good. But at times, command control issues is all over the place. Trust me, as a White Sox fan, there were times he's given me panic attacks. I could maybe say that for all White Sox fans. So, I wish Seranthony nothing but the best in Seattle, but in the end, I think I would rather take my chances with Luis Castillo as a 5-starter in the bullpen. Actually, now that I think about it, there's actually now a report that he could be their 3rd starter. Don't know if I understand that, but in the end, I think Luis Castillo, even though we're going to eat up the rest of his $22 million contract, now he's owed a little more than Seranthony, but in the end, I'm fine with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. And while, yes, number-wise, Luis Castillo has not had a good season in Seattle, but once upon a time, he actually did really well last year in the postseason. So I hope the White Sox can at least fix him. I mean, look at what they did with Sean Burke, and look what they did with Davis Martin to start the year. So I actually can't complain about this one as a White Sox fan, truthfully. All right. Freddie Peralta's no longer a member of the New York Mets, guys. He is going to the Tampa Bay Rays. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. In exchange for outfielder Aiden Smith, infielder Emilian Pitre, I hope I said it right, apologize if I said it wrong, and right-handed pitcher Gary Gilhill. So, Gilhill, Pitre, Smith, nice prospects that the Mets are going to get in return. Now, for Freddie Peralta, let's be honest. He has not had a good season. He has arguably been one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball. Currently, he has made 22 appearances with the Mets, has a 4.99 ERA in over 113 innings. Yikes. However, I think he'll bounce back because he's in the Tampa Bay Rays. And the way the Tampa Bay Rays run their ball club is interesting and good, and they still have a chance to compete for the World Series. So I actually like this on both ends. Next up, the Washington Nationals have traded infielder Luis Garcia Jr. for 4 right-handed pitching prospects in return. Yvonne Cruz, Jake Bird, Jack Sebert, and Ben Grabel. So, all 4 of them are minor leagues. Sebert is 14th ranked in the Yankees prospect system. Grabel's the 25th ranked in the system. And Bird and Cruz were pitching in the minor leagues. So, good for the Nationals that they're going to get more pitchers. And hopefully they can all pan out and be superstars. Now, as for Luis Garcia Jr., he was actually having a really good season with the Nationals. And I don't mind the return that they got for Garcia Jr. Prior to getting traded, hit 23 home runs with a 283 batting average with the Nationals. Was having a pretty good season, and he's also made some appearances at first base, second base, and shortstop in his career. He's also got 1 year left in his contract and will be a free agent in 2027. I'm going to put that in asterisks. That's if we have baseball in 2027, but this is a good trade. I like the Yankees get another infielder, as, let's be honest, Volpe has struggled. Almost their entire infield outside of Ben Rice has struggled so bad. And offensively, they're hurt without Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. So this is a good trade on their end. Now, as for the Nationals, who have been an interesting team this year, obviously it hurts to see Luis Garcia Jr., but in return, you do get 4 pitching prospects in return who are looking to be part of the core for the future. You know what I mean? Next up, the San Francisco Giants have traded right-handed pitcher Tyler Mayhill to the Atlanta Braves for right-handed pitcher Anthony Molina. So, Molina, fine reliever. We'll see what the Giants could get out of him. But as for Mail, who has had an ERA over 5 with 89 strikeouts this season, just over 94 innings. Obviously, he's struggling, not having a good year. So with the Giants, so let's see if Atlanta can hopefully make him turn around. And as for Molina, we'll see how he does in San Francisco. Okay, so technically, the Chicago Cubs and the Toronto Blue Jays did make 2 trades. However, I'm going to combine both of them. So, full-wise, if we combine the two, the Chicago Cubs have traded Jameson Taillon along with outfield prospect Brett Bateman, who was ranked 13th 21st in the Cubs prospect system, and along with infielder prospect Ty Saucine, who was ranked 13th in the system. So, in return, Saucine is an interesting player. He has been playing their high affiliate, crazy enough, has yet to hit a home run. Even this season so far, he has 27 RBIs, made that 35 in total, and he's hit 5 triples, which is crazy. And so, good outfielder, but is more of a contact kind of hitter. Now, Brett Bateman, on the other hand, has hit 3 home runs, actually in AAA Iowa, for the Cubs, and has an OPS at 851 total in the minor leagues this season. So I think he'll get some playing time with the Blue Jays, that's for sure, because they've been one of the most disappointing teams in Major League Baseball. Now, as for Jameson Taillon alone, yikes. On the last year of his contract, awful season. Has given him a lot more home runs this season than he's normally had. Hitters are really getting to him. So the fact that and also was DFA'd last week by the Cubs. So they will get a player to be later named or cash. So fine move. Taillon, hope you can figure it out with Toronto. We'll see. Now, Kevin Gausman going to the Cubs. Good change, good scenery. Cubs need a starting pitcher because, let's be honest, their pitching depth has been so bad this season because they're getting hurt from left to right. I'm fine with seeing Gausman in a Cubs uniform. I think he could actually do better now that he's gone from the horrible Toronto Blue Jays team, let's be honest. Okay, another trade involving the New York Mets. They have traded right-handed pitcher, they traded right-handed pitcher, I apologize if I said it wrong, Huskar Brazoban to the Chicago White Sox in exchange for right-handed pitching prospects Gabe Davis, who was ranked 18th, and Zach Franklin, minor league pitcher. So, good pitchers that the Mets will get, more pitching depth, nothing wrong with that. Now, as for Brazoban, he's actually having a really good year with the New York Mets. ERA was like in the 250s, and to be honest, I'm all in for it. And he is on the final year of his deal, or he does have 1 year left. Don't remember exactly, but regardless, the White Sox getting a bullpen reliever, I'm all in for that. So I was fine with it. All right, let's talk about one of the big major trades that actually happened today. The Toronto Blue Jays have acquired Jose Soriano from the Los Angeles Angels for shortstop prospect Arun Namala, outfielder Eric Micheletti, and righty Angel Rivero, per Jeff Passan. Now, Soriano started off phenomenal, but currently has an ERA of 3.29 in 123 innings. And I think he'll be a good part of the Blue Jays for their long core. Now, as for the Angels, they've officially hit the sell button. So they're getting prospects in Angel Rivero, who I think we'll see get called up this year. Eddie Micheletti, we'll see if he does get called up now. Aaron Namala, I hope I said it right. Again, I apologize if I said it wrong. I think he'll be a good prospect for the Angels. Will he get called up? Probably not this year, but maybe for more years. Okay, Another trade. And what the heck is with these general managers making trades when we're all asleep? What is happening? The Giants have traded Luis Arraez to the Philadelphia Phillies along with right-handed pitcher Caleb Kalan in exchange for right-handed pitcher Ramon Vasquez and right-handed pitcher Marty Gare. So the Giants have obviously not had a good year. So they're going to get good prospects in return from Ramon Marquez and Marty Gare. They're going to help the Giants long term. Now as for the Phillies, Luis Arraez is having a good year hitting wise. When he's hitting 315, 330 with an OPS above 800, we're in good hands. Except defensively, not really the best. So while Arraez will help out the problem offensively, we'll see how he does defensively. Now as for Kalan, good pitcher depth, and I think this is a good move for the Phillies. I think they're going to be in for the long run for this year and a possible World Series scary contend to the Dodgers. Speaking of the Phillies, they've also acquired left-handed pitcher Brooks Raley from the New York Mets, along with, in exchange for right-handed pitcher Luke Garbish and right-handed pitcher John Spikerman. So Raley is actually doing really well with having an ERA of under 2 in 41 innings. Now, Gabrish is a minor leaguer who I think we'll see the Mets get called up this season. As for Spikerman, who was the Phillies' 27th ranked prospect, will he be a part of the Mets core? Because the Mets stink. They need to hit the retool button. I think this is where they're officially going. Next up, a little bit of a surprise trade, not going to lie. The Cleveland Guardians have acquired Joe Adell from the Los Angeles Angels for catcher Jacob Kozar. Kozar was currently having an okay year at AA, but I don't get this part from the Angels' point of view. Will he be a part of their system? I don't know. Now, as for Adell kind of having a down year. Hasn't even been at the 20 home run mark yet, which is crazy. But last year was really good. And honestly, Joe Adell had his moments with LA, and he'll be a really good outfielder for the Cleveland Guardians. Not going to lie. All right. The Seattle Mariners have acquired Taylor Ward for the Baltimore Orioles for right-handed pitcher Alex Hopp, right-handed pitcher Harrison Krelling, and right-handed pitcher Brock Moore. So the Orioles kind of need to hit the retool button. They're kind of having a bit of a weird year. So seeing them getting 3 more pitchers in return is going to help. Now, Taylor Ward wasn't quite having a good year. He's only got 7 home runs in 111 games, so new change, new scenery. That's how I look at it. Now, on to the third of 4 trades the White Sox have made. They've acquired center fielder Brenton Doyle from the Colorado Rockies in exchange for Mason Adams, who was their 8th ranked prospect and in their top 30s. Now, Carlos Villalma wasn't really ranked. Now, the Rockies are going to get another pitcher and another infielder. I don't know if they'll pan out. Kind of too early to tell. Brenton Doyle, honestly, has some power. Did hit 23 home runs back in 2024, but hasn't shown that since. So the White Sox are hoping that they could, get him to hit well again. And he's done well against lefties. So with Randall Grichuk, who I've enjoyed watching playing for the White Sox this season, most likely good is gone after this season. So I think Doyle will most likely be a 3rd, 4th outfielder. Next up, Liam Hicks is going away from the Miami Marlins, but he's going to Tampa Bay for infielder Brendan Taylor, shortstop Adrian Santana, and right-handed pitcher Jacob Christing. So Taylor was the 16th ranked prospect. I don't get this from the Marlins' point of view. I mean, they're fine prospects, but are they long-term? I don't know. I don't quite get this. And Liam Hicks, who was having a good year, I feel like they kind of got fleeced by the Rays. Not going to lie. Alrighty. We have 4 more trades to talk about before we get to the big one. The one you've all been waiting for. Luke Weaver going from the Mets to the Pittsburgh Pirates for shortstop Sammy Starfra. Weaver's having a fine, good year. I think he'll be a good pitcher for the Pirates. And the Mets get another prospect in return in Sammy Stafura. I think we'll see him play probably near the end this year. Paxton Garrett is going to the Chicago Cubs for outfielder slash first baseman Jonathan Long and right-handed pitcher Jace Beck. Don't understand this. Garrett not having a good year at all. He was currently in AAA pitching to a 2.90 ERA, but had an ERA like well above 6. So not a good move on the Cubs end, but hope he figures it out. Now as for Long and Beck, they should play a part of the Marlins core for the distant future. Dustin May and Joho Romeo is going to the Milwaukee Brewers from the Cardinals for outfielder Alexander Freese and outfielder Josiah Ragsdale. Kind of shocked that the Cardinals are actually trading two of their best pitchers for a couple outfield prospects. I mean, yeah, you get two guys who were outside the top 15. Or in the top 15, I mean, it's fine, but if this is the best return they could get for Dustin May, what were they thinking right there? I don't usually say Brewers get fleeced, but this feels like one of them. Okay. I have not trash talked the Cubs. I don't usually do this, but this trade alone, the Cubs have acquired right-handed pitcher Ryan Zeharian, I hope I said it right, in exchange to the Angels for catcher designated hitter Moises Ballesteros and right-handed pitcher Mason McGuire. So Mason McGuire was the 18th ranked prospect, and the Angels are going to get more top prospects. So another one, they're clearly selling. But why do I say this? There was a trade made for Reed Detmers to go to the Cubs. You're telling me that was the best they could do? Get Ryan Zeharian, who is a right-handed reliever, and for Moises Ballesteros. Yikes. Horrible trade for the Cubs. Horrible trade. Yes, they needed more pitching depth, but they could have offered. I mean, come on. They could have offered for Reed Detmers. What are you doing, Jed Hoyer? What are you doing? The Cubs do rebounds, however. They will get Clay Holmes from the Mets, along with outfielder Tyrone Taylor for infielder Jefferson Rojas. Rojas, top prospect in the Cubs system. Mets are going to get more prospects as they keep retooling. Clay Holmes, awesome pitching addition. I don't think it's really a surprise, but I'm not surprised they got him after missing out on Freddie Peralta, so I think this is a good move. And Tyrone Taylor, good outfielder, and I think he'll actually squeeze in, and he'll be a good pinch runner for the Cubs, so that's actually a good one. Okay, last trade, actually, few more. The White Sox got Joey Bart from the Atlanta Braves for right-handed pitcher Duncan David. Duncan David made only one appearance for the White Sox and was okay, but didn't really do that great. He did give up a home run in his only relief appearance against the Tampa Bay Rays. Joey Bart, I don't get this one. I mean, Bart's an okay backup catcher, but to now Drew Romo while Kyle Teal's hurt. I mean, if it was Carroll Bart, I would have been fine with it. I mean, Teal's hurt. Edgar Carroll's been struggling. Drew Romo's ice cold. So Joey Bart, hopefully he'll get more at-bats and more playing time with the White Sox. All right, Heliot Ramos going from the Giants to the Yankees for left-handed pitcher Henry Lane, Caden Kent. Fine move on both teams. More of a depth piece, it feels like. Antonio Senzala's going to the Brewers for left-handed pitcher Mark Manfredi and Juan Martinez. Juan Martinez, Rockies get another prospect. Good for them. And Mark Manfredi, good, decent pitcher. Hopefully Colorado does get a really good pitcher because it feels like it's been a while since they've last had a really good pitcher. Now, Antonio Senzala, who did okay with the Rockies, I think he's going to ball out with the Milwaukee Brewers. Just watch. Jeff Hoffman is going to go to the Minnesota Twins for left-handed pitcher Dashin Hill, John Clean, and infielder DeMurray Pena. So Hill is the 7th ranked prospect, Klein is the 17th, and Pena is a minor leaguer. Good prospects in depth for the Blue Jays as they need to keep retooling and get younger. Jeff Hoffman, it's going to be interesting to see how he does with the Twins, as the Twins are just an interesting team. Foster Griffin's going to the Guardians for left-handed pitcher Will Dion, Josh Hartle, Ken Giles, Verquez, and outfielder Nick Mitchell. Nationals are going to get good prospects and more minor leaguers in return, who we're going to see play out for the Nationals this season. Now, Foster Griffin, good pitcher for Cleveland. I don't really have much else to say. And Casey Mize is going to go to the San Diego Padres along with Gage Workman for left to the Padres from the Tigers. For left-handed pitcher, Cash Mayfred and Jackson Wolf. So the Tigers, Mize was going to be a free agent, so Tigers need to get value in return. That's really how I see it. Really the last one for me to talk about before we get to the Tarek Skubal trade. Lars Nootbaar going from the Cardinals to the Diamondbacks for right-handed pitcher Daniel Egan, infielder Ruben Santana, player later to be named. Don't like this trade on both ends. Such an overfleece. I just basically don't like this trade on both ends. Couple early trades. Let's quickly mention that Logan O'Hoppe going to the Texas Rangers along with Chase Seielzen to the Texas Rangers from the Angels for infielder Angel Arenado. Not a good return on both ends. O'Hoppe's okay defensively, but not great with a bat. And Silly, I think he'll be a good pitcher for the Rangers. And Angel Arenado, I guess he'll do fine in the Angel system. We'll just wait and see. That's really it. So let's get to the Tarek Skubal trade. So Tarek Skubal, to no surprise, is going to the Dodgers, which, by the way, I'm just going to say this. Tarek Skubal is going to be awesome with the Dodgers. There were reports that they thought he would sign with them anyway. However, you're telling me the Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago Cubs, the Atlanta Braves, they could not make a better offer? Are you for real? Detroit got such an underwhelming return. Zaire Holt, good outfielder with a power bat, but he's striking out so much. River Ryan, like a 26-year-old prospect, or 28. And Brady Smith, fine pieces, but this is such an underwhelming return from the Detroit Tigers. All right, this basically concludes my whole thoughts on the trades. I'm your host, Bill Man, the Sports Guy. Today's episode is basically my thoughts on the entire Major League Baseball trades along with the trade deadline. Hope you all have a good week. Stay tuned for episode number 272. Peace.